Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Maya with Simply Bloom. So today we are doing a little unboxing. I ordered some iris rhizomes from Little Bug's Garden. She is a flower farmer in Wisconsin and she was dividing and selling all of her irises, and she was selling them for $3 a rhizome, which is so affordable. I can't even believe it. I'm kind of kicking myself now for not ordering more than what I did. The only thing is you don't know what color you're getting. She included pictures on her website of all the possibilities that you could get, but when you ordered, there's no way to specify what color you were getting or wanted. So this right here is just going to be a wonderful surprise. So the pictures that she included of what they could be, there's a very deep purple one with kind of like an iridescent blue throat, and then there's a lighter lavender lilac almost pinky color with an orange throat. Those are my top two favorites. If I could get only those, that would be awesome. And then there was also like a corally sunset peachy color iris, and then there were two different yellow ones. One was completely all yellow, and then the other one was yellow with like a white and orange throat. So all of them are beautiful. I know which ones I'd prefer to have, but that's okay. They're all gonna be gorgeous, and for $3 you can't go wrong for that. So I have cut the box open, but I haven't actually unpacked them. So here we are. There's a little thank you note from Little Bug's Garden. I ordered 7. Okay. So this is what a typical iris rhizome looks like. They typically cut back the foliage, and then that way when it's easier to mail without those massive 3-foot long leaves. But then also when you plant them, it puts more energy into the roots rather than trying to keep the big leaves alive. So here's one, and when you plant them, you don't want to bury the rhizome all the way here. Typically, you leave about half to a third revealed, and then you bury the other half or 2/3. If you bury them too deep, they will not bloom. It's like this. Peonies is another one. If you bury the eyes too deep, you won't get blooms on them. So there you go. Looks very healthy. I'm very excited. Oh yeah, another big one. Honestly, these could have been cut in half again, but she's making sure that you have like 2 stems on each. I'm not sure if I'm going to show you every single one because they all look the same, I'm guessing. Oh my gosh, I am just so impressed with how healthy these look. Absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if she has any left, but if you're looking for good, like affordable iris rhizomes and you don't care about the color, go over to her website. Wow, that one's a beast. Okay. I'm at 7. I only ordered 7, and there's quite a few more in the box. So this is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Little one, but she'll grow. 13. 13 when I ordered 7. Oh my gosh, that is so generous. $3 a piece. Well, not even. I mean, I paid $21 for 7. I got 13 worth for $21. It's not even $2. Wow. Thank you so much, Little Bug's Garden. I love supporting like small growers, local. She's not local to me, but she's close. I mean, she's right next door to Minnesota. So we're gonna go around, plant these up. I think I'm gonna grab, so I'm not redigging, I'm gonna grab like a little basket. Okay, you guys, I have my basket of rhizomes here. It is a couple hours later, so I'm excited to get these in the ground. A couple things I forgot to mention earlier. Typically the rule of thumb from what I've heard is that you want to plant the rhizomes around 12 inches apart. You could go closer for sure. You would just have to divide them a lot faster if you do closer. So 12 inches apart is kind of like a good spacing if you do want to plant them close to each other. Now, since I don't know what colors I have, I might do like one here and then go somewhere completely different, or maybe I will. I mean, would that look good, having colors kind of blended together? I don't know. I kind of like groups of like individual colors. And then also you kind of want to watch them. If they start to dwindle down in blooms, they're not blooming as prolific as they used to, that's a good sign that you need to divide them. So they recommend about every 3 to 5 years you want to go in, divide those rhizomes, give them a little bit of space to breathe, and they'll start producing blooms more as well. So let's get started. All right, so I think I'm going to go in right here. Hopefully I have some daffodils planted in this bed. Hopefully I won't dig those up. I'm not even going to really dig a hole. What I'm going to do, I'm going to remove some of the mulch back. I'm just going to fluff the soil. Get it nice and fluffy. Like I said, not digging a hole. Can you believe I used to be the type of person that would never dare show my socks when wearing shoes. I couldn't stand the look of socks peeking through shoes. Now I don't care, and I'm having some bright colored socks to really show it off. So I'm going to take my rhizome here into this nice fluffy soil. I'm just going to kind of nestle the roots down in there. And then, like I said, you don't want to completely bury the rhizome. I'm leaving it partially uncovered. Not going to bury it with the mulch. I must have had a plant here. There's already kind of like a natural divot. And that's all there is to it. I think that'd be really, really pretty here. I do have an iris, not an iris. I have lilies, peony, foxglove, roses. So this bed is definitely will go along with that. Like all of the roses, foxgloves, peonies, that should all be blooming at the same time, so look really good. Really, really pretty there. Now, you will not get a bloom the same year you plant it. You might in the springtime if you buy a potted rhizome from the garden center that already has nice foliage and some bloom stalks on it. But typically, if you're doing it this way, it's later in the summer, early fall, you won't get blooms. Some people say you'll get blooms next summer. I have planted bulbs this way a few times, and typically it grows nice beautiful foliage the following year, but I don't get any blooms for me personally. And then it's actually the following year after that. So it's kind of like 2 seasons after that before I get blooms, but maybe you'll be lucky and maybe some of these will bloom this next spring. So I'm just going to hop to it and get the rest planted. Okay, you guys, all done, and I'm so excited to see these in bloom. Hopefully next year, but maybe not until the following year. Okay, so you saw me plant this one first, and this whole bed is beautiful for the spring, and I know I shouldn't be putting more spring items in here. I should really be focusing on fall in this bed, but I can't help it. Like, this bed is absolutely drop dead gorgeous in the springtime. So the iris is there, and it's surrounded by foxgloves and roses and peonies and hardy geraniums, and then there's salvia here and nepeta and all sorts of good things. And then I planted another one here, which this should, I'm thinking, bloom. And then once that fizzles out, then the tiger lilies behind it should bloom. The only late season, early fall interest that I really have is the echinacea. I do have some foxglove blooming, you know, back there. Typically they wouldn't be blooming right now. I just planted them too late. They normally bloom earlier. I do have some purple yarrow that I planted all along the back. I wasn't expecting to get any blooms this year because I started them by seed, but we do have a little bloom, and they're kind of sprinkled all along the back, you know, like there. So hopefully that'll provide some later spring, summer interest. And then I did plant one right here. And I wasn't sure because I have a lily there, stargazer lily there is like, probably a little bit close, but it's okay. If I have to move it later, I will. And then coming right across the driveway here, this is a work in progress. This is part of my last video. If you missed it, it was Dirty Little Garden Secrets. I was fixing this bed. I do the no dig, no till, so cardboard, mulch. I ran out of mulch. That's why you still see cardboard there. But there's an iris there. And I wasn't sure how tall these got, so I kind of put some in front of things. I also put some things behind some things. We'll see. But there's another one there. I had a heliopsis there that I dug up and moved somewhere else. And another one there. I have one there. And another one there. So to explain this bed a little bit, I have Bobo hydrangeas all along the whole driveway. And in between every single Bobo, there's peony, peony, peony. There is one rose there, but I'm thinking this will be really pretty. And then here is an iris here. Ooh, lots of bumblebees. An iris there that I might have to move, but just to kind of explain, I planted that one last fall as well and didn't get any blooms this year. So I'm thinking next year will be the year for blooms. I'm not sure. Oh, I remember. I planted that one after I'd cut back some sedums and stuff. So in my mind, I'm not sure what I was thinking. It's a little crowded. Might not get enough sun, and that might also be why it won't bloom. We'll see what happens next year. But I thought it'd be kind of pretty to just have irises sprinkled throughout all along the driveway. And then in this bed here, I planted an iris there. I love sedums. Oh my gosh, I love sedums. Total side detour, I know, but look at my hibiscus. My evening rose hardy hibiscus just started to bloom. I love it. Doesn't start blooming until the end of September, but that's okay, so pretty. Okay, so right here is more of that purple yarrow. This one gets a lot more sun. Where I planted the other spot gets a little shaded. So this one's much more further along, but that will look really pretty. Here's an iris that I planted last year as well. And once again, didn't get blooms this year. So I'm hoping next year we'll have blooms. Here is iris that I planted this year, funny enough, from the garden center, and it is blooming. This is the Immortality iris. It looked better a couple days ago. The blooms are kind of spent, but we got one pretty one. This is a reblooming one. Not all irises rebloom. Most of them you'll get one bloom season in the spring, but there are a few that will rebloom like this one. All right, this bed has had like no work this year, and it shows. It shows greatly. I did plant some boxwood basil, which I love. I'm obsessed with. I want this stuff everywhere. It smells so good. It looks so pretty. I Oh, I love it. Started by seed in the spring, planted out, gorgeous. I planted an iris there. There is a silver mound that I cut back. I don't like the silver mound in the landscape. I love them in my rock gardens, don't like them in the ground. So I'm gonna move that, and yes, we'll have a iris there. And then in this bed, I need to weed, obviously. There's grass. I don't know what type of grass that is. It's not a normal grass, but I can't pull it out. It's like in a big clump. So I was gonna dig it out when I had my shovel here, and then I just walked off, completely forgot. But there's an iris there and an iris there. So this is a new bed I just kind of started last fall. Like I said, we got some weeds that need to get dealt with, but I am excited to see how this bed transforms. And we have got a couple wheelbarrows because, you know, we live on a hobby farm. You'll find wheelbarrows everywhere. And then last but not least, I plopped one there. I'm sure eventually I'm gonna have to move it. These perennials are all baby perennials in this bed. But I was like, maybe we'll get 1 or 2 years of pretty blooms there before I have to move it as things grow and mature. Okay, you guys, that is it as far as planting all of the bearded iris rhizomes. Like I said, I'm so excited to see these just bloom in hopefully a year, if not 2 years, but that is it. If you have any questions about transplanting or planting bearded iris or any iris rhizomes, leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. But that is it. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.